heart. So grab your salt circles and prepare to face the unknown as we explore this forbidden art. Picture, if you will, a moonless night in medieval Europe. The air is thick with an eerie fog, and the only sound is the distant howl of a lone wolf. In a secluded graveyard, a hooded figure stands before a freshly dug grave, surrounded by flickering candles. The necromancer raises their arms, chanting in an otherworldly tongue, summoning the spirits of the departed. Can you feel the chill running down your spine? That's just the beginning of our macabre tale. Necromancy, oh boy, it's a practice as old as humanity's fear of death itself. The word comes from the ancient Greek nekros, meaning dead body, and manteia, meaning divination. But don't let the fancy etymology fool you. This ain't your grandma's fortune-telling. We're talking about the real deal, folks. Raising the dead, communicating with spirits, and tapping into the vast knowledge of the great beyond. Now let's rewind the clock to ancient Mesopotamia, where some of the earliest recorded instances of necromancy can be found. The Epic of Gilgamesh, dating back to around 2000 BCE, describes the hero Gilgamesh attempting to contact the spirit of his deceased friend, Enkidu. Can you imagine the desperation, the raw grief that would drive a man to seek out the dead? It's a testament to the enduring human desire to bridge the gap between the living and the departed. But hold on to your seats, because necromancy isn't just some dusty old legend. Oh no, it's been practiced throughout history, often in secret, by those seeking power, knowledge, or closure. In ancient Greece, necromancers would flock to the oracle of the dead at Ephyra, where they believed they could communicate with the spirits of the deceased. These rituals often involve blood sacrifices and elaborate ceremonies that would make your skin crawl. Speaking of skin crawling, let's talk about one of the most infamous necromancers in history, the notorious Witch of Endor. This Old Testament figure, mentioned in the first book of Samuel, was consulted by none other than King Saul himself. Picture the scene: a desperate king, facing certain defeat, sneaking out in disguise to seek the counsel of a woman he had previously banished. The tension is palpable as the witch summons the spirit of the prophet Samuel, who delivers a chilling prophecy of Saul's impending doom. It's like a supernatural thriller come to life. But necromancy isn't just confined to the annals of ancient history. Oh no, my friends, it's persisted well into the modern era. Take, for example, the spiritualist movement of the 19th century. Mediums like the Fox sisters claimed to communicate with the dead through a series of knocks and raps. Their seances drew crowds of believers and skeptics alike, all hoping to catch a glimpse of the great beyond. Can you imagine the anticipation, the mixture of fear and hope, as the lights dimmed and the spirits were called forth? Now I know what you're thinking. Surely this is all just superstition and trickery? Well, hold on to your hats because the story gets even wilder. In 1891, the Society for Psychical Research conducted experiments with a medium named Leonora Piper. These weren't just any old seances. We're talking about rigorous scientific testing. And get this, some of the most skeptical researchers came away convinced that Mrs. Piper had genuine psychic abilities. It's enough to make you question everything you thought you knew about the boundaries between life and death. But let's not forget the dark side of necromancy. Throughout history, this practice has been associated with black magic, demon summoning, and all manner of nefarious activities. In medieval Europe, necromancers were feared and persecuted, often facing torture and execution for their alleged crimes. The very thought of tampering with the natural order of life and death was enough to strike terror into the hearts of the most hardened individuals. One particularly gruesome tale comes from 15th century France, where a group of necromancers was accused of murdering children to use their body parts in unholy rituals. The trial that followed was a spectacle of horror and superstition, with lurid details of midnight ceremonies and demonic pacts. Can you imagine the fear that gripped the community? The whispered accusations, the suspicious glances, the constant dread of what might be lurking in the shadows. But necromancy isn't just about raising the dead or communing with spirits. Oh no, it goes much deeper than that. Some practitioners believe they could harness the power of the dead to gain knowledge of the future or to influence events in the present. It's a tantalizing prospect, isn't it? The idea that the vast wisdom of the ages might be at your fingertips, if only you dare to reach out and grasp it. Now let's fast forward to the 20th century, where necromancy took on a whole new dimension with the advent of technology. Ever heard of electronic voice phenomena, or EVP? It's the alleged recording of spirit voices on electronic devices. Imagine the spine-tingling moment when a researcher, huddled over a tape recorder in a dark, abandoned building, plays back the recording and hears a ghostly whisper emerge from the static. Is it proof of life after death, or just wishful thinking? The debate rages on to this day. But wait, there's more. In recent years, some researchers have even attempted to use artificial intelligence to communicate with the dead. Dr. Michio Kaku, a renowned theoretical physicist, has suggested that it might be possible to create an AI avatar of a deceased person using their digital footprint and personal information. It's a mind-bending concept that blurs the lines between technology, spirituality, and the very nature of consciousness itself. Now, I know we've covered a lot of ground here, but hang on tight because we're about to dive even deeper into the rabbit hole. Let's talk about the psychological aspects of necromancy. Why are humans so drawn to the idea of communicating with the dead? Is it simply a way to cope with grief? Or is there something more primal at work? Dr. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross, renowned psychiatrist and pioneer in near-death studies, once said, "It's not the end of the physical body that should worry us. Rather, our concern must be to live while we're alive, to release our inner selves from the spiritual death that comes with living behind a facade designed to conform to external definitions of who and what we are." Powerful words, aren't they? They speak to the deep-seated human desire to understand the mysteries of life and death, to find meaning in the face of our own mortality. But necromancy isn't just about confronting death, it's also about power. Throughout history, those who claim to be able to communicate with the dead have wielded enormous influence. Kings and emperors have sought their counsel, armies have marched on their prophecies, and entire religions have been founded on their visions. It's a heady mix of fear, respect, and awe that has shaped the course of human history in ways we're only beginning to understand. Now let's take a moment to consider the cultural impact of necromancy. From Shakespeare's ghostly apparitions to modern horror films, the idea of communicating with the dead has captured our collective imagination for centuries. Think about the enduring popularity of Ouija boards, or the countless TV shows dedicated to ghost hunting. There's something about the prospect of piercing the veil between worlds that speaks to our deepest fears and desires. But it's not all seances and spooky encounters. The concept of necromancy has also influenced fields as diverse as psychology, anthropology, and even computer science. Carl Jung, the famous Swiss psychiatrist, drew inspiration from necromantic practices in developing his theories of the collective unconscious and archetypes. Meanwhile, anthropologists studying traditional societies have found that rituals involving communication with ancestors play a crucial role in maintaining social cohesion and cultural identity. And let's not forget the ethical implications of all this. If it were possible to communicate with the dead, what would it mean for our understanding of life, death, and the afterlife? Would it bring comfort to the bereaved, or would it open up a Pandora's box of unintended consequences? These are the kinds of questions that keep philosophers and ethicists up at night, grappling with the implications of a practice that has been both revered and reviled throughout human history. Now, I know we've covered a lot of ground here, but there's one more aspect of necromancy that we simply can't ignore: its influence on popular culture. From the ghostly apparitions in Hamlet to the zombie hordes of modern horror films, the idea of the dead returning to interact with the living has captured our imaginations for centuries. Take, for example, the enduring popularity of Edgar Allan Poe's works, particularly The Fall of the House of Usher, with its themes of premature burial and spectral visitations. Can you feel the claustrophobic terror of being trapped in a tomb, hearing the scraping of fingernails on a coffin lid? But it's not just literature that's been influenced by necromancy. Music, too, has its fair share of otherworldly inspirations. The blues legend Robert Johnson was said to have sold his soul to the devil at a crossroads in exchange for his legendary guitar skills. And let's not forget the countless heavy metal bands that have drawn inspiration from necromantic imagery and themes. It's a testament to the enduring power of these ideas to shock, terrify, and fascinate us. As we draw our journey into the realm of necromancy to a close, I want you to take a moment to reflect on everything we've discussed. The ancient rituals, the whispered incantations, the desperate attempts to bridge the gap between the world of the living and the realm of the dead. It's a practice that has shaped human culture and belief for thousands of years, and its influence can still be felt today. So the next time you find yourself alone in a dark room or walking through a moonlit graveyard, take a moment to listen. Really listen. Is that just the wind you hear whispering through the trees? Or is it something more? The spirits of the dead are all around us, if only we dare to reach out and make contact. But remember, dear listeners, the world of necromancy is not for the faint of heart. For once you open that door, there's no telling what might come through. And with that chilling thought, we come to the end of our exploration of necromancy. The candles have burned low, the spirits have retreated to their realm, and the veil between worlds has once again grown thick. But the questions remain, as they always have and always will. What lies beyond the threshold of death? And are we truly prepared to face the answers? Until next time, dear listeners, sleep tight and don't let the spirits bite.